Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got...
Hey, everybody, welcome in on this awesome Friday. What's up, DJ?
What's going on with your TK? You know me, just sitting here, grooving, doing what I do, ready to get this episode in, man.
Most definitely. Thank y'all for tuning in on this Friday night. If you have not, please like, share, as well as subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get all the notifications when we are on. And I am TK, the host of TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep, and my co-host DJ is locked in tonight, and we are ready for this awesome episode.
Yeah, I'm ready for this episode. What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for continuously supporting us. We are here, ready to give to y'all, and I hope everybody had a great weekend, have an even better weekend, and let's roll.
All right, so sir, who you want to bring up first? We doing the multiple personality first.
Nope. I just want to bring everybody up all at one time. The reason why is because these are all three some of my favorite people, period. I rocks with all of them in no particular order. So we got my friend Linky, we got my friend Tay, and we got my friend Jackson, and they are awesome. So there's Linky. That's Tay. That's Jackson.
Multiple personalities. Who having a multiple personalities?
And look, I ain't gonna hold
same
y'all,
person that asked that question.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, I really do rock with all three of y'all in a major way, on and off social media. Man, I hope this friendship lasts a lifetime and beyond. And I appreciate y'all coming through. But before we move on, hold on, I got something to do. I gotta get my smell good on. All right, there we go. Beard is ready? Okay, yeah, we good.
I got mine too. Okay, all right.
See, that's what.
Y'all didn't tell me that's what we were doing.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
They brought mine up the car.
We spray too. We smell good.
Second.
I already put mine on before I came.
Stay ready, keep from getting ready. I love it. TK, go ahead, TK. What you got? I'm sorry, my bad.
That's what's up. So tonight, this is our Take Pride episode. We know we particularly do a episode every year to celebrate this because we definitely have some awesome people, and this is one of the episodes that I just love to have because it normally get down to the nitty gritty, and they gonna be as transparent and ain't gonna bite their tongue on nothing. So I definitely love it. So we'll let them tell them a little something about themselves so y'all can get a little familiar with our guest tonight. So I'm scared of this one. So Linky Love, tell us a little something about yourself.
Hi, I'm Linky Love. I'm from Texas. Flowers, and I'm a Cancer. Now I'm learning collabolist, aka Linky Love.
There it is.
Mental health advocate, therapist to all the peeps. I am the L in the LGBTQIA plus, and I'm happy to be here tonight representing for Pride.
Absolutely. Okay. Now where you want to go, TK?
All right, come on, Jackson. Tell us something about you.
Hey guys, my name is Jumpin' Jackson. I am a mental health advocate as well for the LGBT plus community. Tentative psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner.
Oh, go ahead.
And I love helping people like get to a place where they're embracing themselves, loving themselves, getting through all the struggles that we've been through for years and our ancestors have been through. So yeah, that's one of the special things about me. And I love the jump. That's why I'm Jumping Jackson.
We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, definitely. Because I got that last night. We had a good old conversation last night. Very good. All right, Tay, what about you, ma'am?
Hello, everyone. I'm Octavia. A little bit about myself. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I use it sometimes. But I'm 30. I'm in Alabama. I am the L also in LGBTQIA. Also, I am a mental health advocate. I'm a road crisis case manager for mental health. And I'm just happy to be here, y'all. I got some great people on here with me, so.
Absolutely. I'm glad y'all are here. And I reached out to y'all particularly because I am aware of the professional aspect as well as the social aspect, right? So that's why I reached out to y'all. I kind of know what Tay does for a living and the type of people that she works around. So that's why I wanted um, you all to be here because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, also as well as Men's Mental Health. So we're not gonna leave out that aspect. So I appreciate y'all showing up, and I appreciate the love and support. TK, you got it. What's you got?
All right. So Linky, as she typically does, be all in my lane when we on here. So Linky kind of started off my question in the background before we got started. So my first question tonight is: if Pride was a song, what would it be for you and why?
That's good. I like that.
What kind of question is that?
Not I'm over there talking.
That's a great question. Okay, Tay. So you got a little bit to think about it. So let's start with Linky. So if Pride was a song, right? So let's have it.
No, because you have all the hits that's out there. So if pride, what represents pride? Everybody would probably say, Diana, I'm coming out, but it's not necessarily just about that part. So I don't know. Y'all have to come back to me on that one.
Because you shouted out that song for the intro. I thought that's what it was gonna be.
Well, you make me feel mighty real. I don't know that would be pride because I'm thinking deep. Now I can say
so let's get out of professional mode for just a moment.
I want the world to know I gotta let it show who I am. Pride is not so much just about coming out. Pride is about just being you, just doing you, just living, and not living in the shadows, living in the closet, being able to be. That doesn't mean that I have to wear rainbows on my chest every day, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't if I felt like it. I think people have this misconception about what pride is, and it's about people just coming out and being out. It's about just living your authenticity, whatever that looks like for you, whatever comfort level you're in with that. So, yeah. What a little deep, I know. We're going to get
I see you done dived all up in that end of the ocean.
She's trying to get the DSM out and treat somebody.
It's when it's in you, it's in you. Okay?
So there's a comment, and A Lab said, "I'm every woman." That's A Lab.
Okay.
I admit it. Okay. Jackson, what you got?
Pride is excitement. It's loving yourself and each and every one of us a part of this whole rainbow together and making sure we are seen. People have died for us to have this month. And that's what it means to me. It's excitement. It's the fact that we've made it this far. And it's amazing. Yeah, that's what it means. I could go down the diagnosis way, but I'm not going to keep my DSM Bible.
So is there a particular song that kind of resonates with you particularly, or we just going to?
You better work.
Okay. Work, bitch, okay?
All right.
You guys know where that's from, right?
No, but
RuPaul.
Okay, I got you.
Girl.
Back in the 90s.
Head to toe. Let your whole body rock. Yeah, that's what.
Goddamn.
All right. I love it. Octavia. Talk to us.
Oh, well,
First of all,
well, a
look
little
at me when you're talking
backstory.
to me.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry. Um, well, a little backstory. Like being in a small town, I kind of hid from the public eye because it's like everybody knows everybody, and I was so big on my family not knowing about me. So when All American came out and Breezy
TV
had
show.
a remix, yeah,
Okay.
All American, and the song resonated to me, and I had to put it on my playlist. It's called "You Don't Ask" remix,
Ah, yeah.
and that song right there was like kind of my hidden thing. It was like I don't want my family to know, but now that you know, because like all of my family didn't, and it's like little people knew at the time, and it kind of got around like it was a rumor and it wasn't a fact. So when I actually came out and wide open, like I had family that loved me, but everybody, some people kind of, stirred away. Even my grandmother, like
Yeah.
my grandmother kind of did, and I kind of knew about it, but that
Gotcha.
song resonates to me the most.
Okay, okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I will say this: I'm glad that you have arrived to where you are today. I love you. I love this version of you. When I first met you, it was not even a question, but instantly you were my sister, and you already know how that go.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
all right, absolutely. All right, TK.
All right. And since
Uh,
Tay kind of hit on that, that was going to be my next question. Next question is, how did you come out to your family? Or did somebody already know? Because it's always that one person they say, I already know. And they be like, I knew that already.
Yep.
Look at Linky. Come on with it, Linky.
Tay, did you want to add anything else while you're here, or are you good? Tay, and
Talking about
because
mine.
yeah, because if it flows, then we can just go ahead and flow, and then we'll go to Linky if that's all right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I kind of came out because when me and my wife, before she was my wife, I started dating her when I went off to college. Um, I didn't want my family to know because I haven't really fully came out, but my sister knew. Like she always knew, even when we was kids. So when I did like tell my mom and like I found somebody that I like, my mom was okay with it, but she wasn't okay with the family kind of knowing for real, for real.
I got
But
you.
then my mom told my grandmother, it kind of transpired. But my great grandmother even was like, I already knew. Like, she doesn't have to say anything. I'm fine with it. But it was like a rumor. But when I actually came out and open and loud about it, it was like my grandmother kind of wanted to push me back into the closet almost.
Okay.
Like,
And if you're watching Tay's wife is absolutely amazing. She's beautiful. She accepts our friendship through and through. We on the phone hanging out
yes,
talking. So I appreciate Tay's wife. I don't want to call her name out. I don't know, but
Trina, you
okay,
can.
there you go.
Cool,
All
cool.
right. Uh TK, who you want to go to? You want Jackson or you want Miss Linky?
We can go with Jackson. Linky over there looking like she frozen for a minute. We can
She
hit
look like
Jackson.
she
Rose.
I lick love. Okie dokie. So of course, all mamas always know. It's a whole acting scene for a lot of us. They know, they just know. So with me, really did try. Like, I was growing up, I was the kind of kid that was a people pleaser. So I was always doing things to impress my family, good grades, go to college, do what I had to do. And I tried, being with a girl, and I could not be with a girl to try to please my family. I did not want to be that guy that starts a family and then down the road leave her high and dry. I didn't want to do that. I could see myself doing it because of how I was raised and people pleasing. So basically, after I was like, look, this is what I'm gonna do, which I knew my mom was gonna kick me out, but in case she did, I was like, just help me get through nursing school. Let me get my associate degree. And then after I passed this NCLEX, then I pretty much came out to my mom. And at that moment, she was like, I still love you, no matter, what you are, or what you decide to do. Of course, I prefer for you to be with a woman, but if this what makes you happy, then so be it. And after that, it seemed like my confidence for myself just kind of went up, and I became a different person than trying to hide, because trying to hide is like it takes a
it's
lot.
yeah.
It really does. So yeah, that was my coming out. Short and simple.
All right. You ready?
Am I still frozen?
No, you good.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, my coming out journey, and I'll say journey because it was
Journey.
indeed a journey. I knew I liked girls from when I was in kindergarten. So that was no thing. But of course, this is like 82. And so there was no gay representation on TV. If it was a white man, or it was maybe somebody, I'll say cross dressing, because I don't believe that the trans identity, or at least it wasn't mainstream identifying people as that. It was men in dresses and probably more drag than anything else. And so I didn't know what it was, what it was I was feeling. I knew I liked girls. And my family is in the church, heavily in the church, very critical, very judgmental about who should be with whom and who should not be with whom. And so I remember there were some gay men like down the street from us, and they'd be doing their thing, sashaying down the sidewalk, and you'd hear the chatter about very negative things about these people. So I believe, I'm this how old I am. I know I look young. It was like 1989, I think, or 88, 89, when the Women of Brewster Place came out.
Okay,
Y'all
yeah.
remember that with Mike Tyson was in there, and Oprah and them, and they had the two lesbians. And I saw myself. I said, wow, that's me. And I'm about 11. I'm about 11 years old. And so I remember I was trying to tell my mother as a child, because of course that wasn't talking to beauty shop. Them two women, yeah, I saw that part. They was funny, them funny women, and all this other stuff going on. And I tried to tell my mom, I think that's me. She's like, what? I think I'm funny. And she beat the hell out of me. I got to beat down. I got to beat down. Fast forward some years, I was in high. Now I dated guys because I was trying to, do what they say you're supposed to be doing. So I always kept me a boyfriend. And so I was in high school by my junior year, and looked like all the girls started coming out on the basketball team. Shout out to the Bumblebees. Y'all know who y'all are. And so I started experimenting. You know me, I'm a lover. I'm writing all these love notes because we ain't had no cell phones. We ain't had no Snapchat. We ain't had none of that. If you wanted to write somebody, you would write you a letter and fold it up and send it to them. So I'm like, oh man, without you, girl, I'm down on bended knees. I was doing all this stuff. And I kept my letters. My mother found my letters, and she beat the hell out of me again. And so it wasn't until, and I dated women, girls during this time, but it wasn't until I would say I was about 33 years old. Because for me, whenever my mom would find something, she'd be like, it's a phase. I'd be like, okay, it's a phase. Yep, it's a phase. It's indeed a phase. But when I was about 33, 32, 33, it was like, you know what? I done had enough of this shit. This is who I am. This is who I am. It is not a phase. I don't know. And then professionally, I was outed by a place that I worked for, because I was the token black gay, and they was trying to get their little grant money. They know who they are. They was like, we have a black therapist and she's gay. I'm like, God damn it. Okay. Because I'm from a small town, and I was still at church, and it was like, oh, damn, they done found out my teeth. So that has been my journey. I didn't sit down with my family. They kind of found out and figured out. One time I brought a girl home for Thanksgiving, and they was like, oh, yeah. So there.
Guess who's coming to dinner? Surprise.
Yeah. Surprise.
It's been about 10, 12 years for you, Miss Linky, right? It's about 10, 12 years because you're about, what, 43, 44?
I wish. Bless your heart. You so kind. I'll be 48 on the 30th.
Oh, you my age. Okay. Okay, 48. Okay, 48.
Yeah, that's why I say, about 1982, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like using it, honey.
Tell you, have you ever had a boyfriend?
I have. I've dated a lot of guys in the past.
I can't see it.
But even then, I was so, I don't know. I was just so masculine. I was dominant. Like it was my way or no way. And it was like, I can't get it, dude. This is impossible to keep trying this. I'm trying to put on the front. I tried it and tried it and tried it and just
didn't work out for you. Huh? Okay, we're gonna talk about that later. We'll talk about it later. Okay. TK, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you got?
You good? I know you got some questions over there, sir.
No, I don't have no questions. I'm just flowing. Like, I definitely want to talk to Jackson. I want to ask Jackson about the whole jumping identity and how that came about and how passionate you are about it. Because man, I've been seeing your videos and I'm like, man, this dude is athletic. I mean, he's all over the place, like all over the world. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh, yes. I love to jump. It makes me feel like a kid again. I fell into it about 5 years ago, 4 to 5 years
When
ago.
you say jump, right? So when you say jump,
Oh, jumping. So before I started jumping rope, I was just jumping in boots. So there's these boots. I'm not sure if I've seen these videos
yeah,
where it's like it looks like moon boots or pogo sticks, and you're jumping up and down, and it's a total fitness workout. And outside of that, I love it because when you come into serotonin receptors and stuff that's what manage our mood when it comes to depression, it helps in those areas. And so that's why I love it. And so I'll teach classes with it. And then I added the jump rope to it. And so that just took it to another level. And I realized there's a whole jump rope community. And I just jumped right into it. And so that's what, started a lot of the traveling that I've done so far. Like you were saying, I was just in Paris. I did a jump rope meetup there, as well as I did a jump rope class in Nice, France, the south part of France. And so, yeah, it's something that I just really passionate and I really love. I think it really does help mentally out. Like you got any kind of depression or facing any kind of issues, come and jump about it. Come take a jumping Jackson class. I guarantee it's going to be hard to keep a stoic face the whole throughout the whole class. So, yeah, that's what I
so
do.
it's
I bet.
freeing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I bet just talking to him last night and him telling me, and I've seen the things that he's talking about he jumps on, and I was like, ooh, them look like I would break my ankles and I'm a little too old to be hurting myself. And he talking about come on and join the class, and I'm like, I have 911 on speed dial because it would be a definite.
My eldest client is 81 years old, and
God
she
dog
is and I'll tell you, this woman be jumping. I mean, she be jumping. Got like 7 Guinness World Records for being the oldest competitive skipper. And she is definitely just something that a lot of people look up to. I mean, she don't look 81. She looks like she's her 40s, literally. And
Nice.
so, yeah, when you say age, I'll be like, girl, age nothing but a number because you keep everything back. You got to work it out.
I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to start jumping, child.
Man, I be checking out his videos and I just be like, I jump rope. It's the boots that intimidate me.
Boots?
The boots, yeah.
The boots.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't remember them jumping boots that came out like some years back that you jump in? They got like the little spring on them and you jump.
Correct.
Yeah.
Y'all remember them, Lee?
I don't remember. Was that them Shaquille O'Neal shoes?
Shaquille.
That had them things in there, them springs?
No.
No, not those.
Oh.
They look like, I don't know how to explain them.
Oh, I didn't bring my boots. Oh, I got my friend's boots here. I'm gonna show you guys.
All right.
But they,
Okay.
yeah, but he, like he said last night when we talked, he's like, these help with those.
Yeah, I've seen it. I did a marathon last year, and the lady was trying to do that in them. I'm like, bless your heart, sister,
They be doing
because she
it,
was
though.
struggling.
She was,
Oh, she- okay.
she was
He
struggling.
said those bring out your inner child right there.
They
That
do.
Yeah, that looks scary.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
got you,
5K, and I'm like, ain't no way I'd have did that for a 5K, but I would do it, just local stuff. I need to see that. That's nice. Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's definitely it's a niche, and more people are coming on board. Especially, it's really rehabilitative. So if you got bad knees, bad back, because it's
Oh, that's perfect for you,
Yeah.
TK.
I got a bad back.
See,
I
so
need to give me some of them
it
shoes.
absorbs up to 80% of pressure. So when you're jumping up and down or doing any kind of high impact workout, it's relieving that pressure, so you won't have all that pain from doing light working out and stuff. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to see it. Give me some
Rebound.
of them. I have to pay a
and
clearance.
I'm telling you, look, I'm reconsidering like a mug now. He said good for your knees. That was my number one. I was like,
Okay.
Yeah, you got 2 bad knees, TK. So yeah.
sir,
It's-
I have
it's the reason why-
one bad knee.
You
One.
get you some knees like Megan when you finish jumping, girl. Go ahead.
It's the reason why you saw that lady at the marathon, because probably that's the only way she can actually do it is on the boots, because of all that impact you have when you're running, for an hour, 2 hours at a time.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
So it helps.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see about that. After
For
pay
real.
clearing. I'm gonna have to go affirm. I'm gonna have to
Sound
Oh,
like
put in
yeah,
something
the
I'm probably
cool.
comment.
willing to
I
try.
got PayPal, $60 payments for, I think they like
Hell yeah.
250, 260.
Is
I-
there a certain brand that's better than others?
So I'm an ambassador for Fit Boots. So that's the
Fit
brand
boots.
I present. Yeah, Fit Boots, FIT and BOOTS.
I'm gonna look that up. You got
Yeah,
a
we
you got
talked
a
about that
code?
on the live, Jackson. I remember.
She's serious. She about to write it down.
She ain't
Yeah,
playing.
that's to pay and ask some people, hey, it's my birthday. Y'all want to donate
Oh,
to
there
the
you go.
cause? I need me
There you
some
go.
I
Yep.
need me some
Don't put
fit
your
boots
cash
so I
app
can
on like
jump.
everybody else be doing to
That's
get them
it.
donations.
It is
I,
my
I had
birthday and it's Pride Month.
Party,
the first year I got people together and we jumped in Pride. So I had about 18 of us who was jumping in the boots and in the parade. It was really
Oh,
fun.
that's dope. I
Y'all in
love
some
that. I
good
love
shape.
that.
And that's when
Y'all in good shape, honey.
that's when
Oh man,
London
you should, yeah, this dude's in shape.
London Breed, the mayor of San Francisco. And so we was right there by her cable card and we was all jumping and stuff behind her. It was really fun.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, okay. T, have any questions?
Okay,
You
yeah.
anything?
I got a little something. Let
Okay.
me see. I'm
Well,
trying to think which one I want.
cause I was gonna ask Tay if she had anything that she wants to add, like like as far as that, like what do you have going on? Besides traveling, Tay be everywhere, y'all. Tay travel
So do
more.
Mr. Jackson over there. He be
Yeah,
everywhere too. And
Yeah.
I love that. I love that y'all are out traveling and seeing and doing. Like
Well,
I
I be at
freaking
my house.
I
I be at home.
look at
We
you be
love
at the
about to
crib.
make love at her house.
You be, maybe you be at the
Writing
crib,
love letters.
right?
I like to go. I can't help it. It's something that I picked up with my mom. So, it's something. It's take me out of my element, give me a break, get me back to reality. It's like a reset, and I kind of enjoy it a lot. But this time we're taking the kids, so it's gonna be a real.
Kids,
We're going on a
kids.
cruise, and it's their first
Hey,
cruise.
nice. Okay.
I'm
You
nervous.
you have
It'll be
kids?
good. It'll be good. I
What
went
you
on one
said?
last
uh,
year.
I said you have
are
kids.
you nervous about are you
I have
nervous about the kids going or are you
the
nervous
kids.
about the cruise itself? Oh, okay. I
The
got you.
kids. Not even me. I've been on a cruise before, but
Yeah.
my daughter, I'm just nervous. Just
Okay.
Yeah, so
I got
yeah,
we adopted some kids. That's why, not some kids. I apologize. I'm not trying to downplay
yeah.
the relationship, but yeah, she has kids that
I have 3 adopted children, and I also have
Oh,
my godson full time, so
yeah.
he's also at the
awesome.
house. Yeah, so
Okay.
So,
That's beautiful. That's what's
yeah.
up. That's a beautiful thing. That's beautiful. So, question, since all three of y'all are advocates for mental health and doing things in the mental health field, how does
mhm.
mental health and the LGBTQIA plus community come together in that area? Like, how important is that aspect?
Who you want to go first?
Whoever.
Let's start with Linky.
Okay. I think it comes together because the LGBTQ community is one of the underserved populations, that we have. I think I sometimes I forget because I am in a queer bubble, just how slim the resources can be. You'll have people with their own beliefs, their own ideologies about who should be what and everything else. And so I think that it's important to have representation. It's important to have queer therapists or some very good allies that are available. I think that because you have a marginalized group of people don't realize just how much oppression that's out there. And being black and queer, that's a whole nother thing. There's a webinar that I'll be doing on my birthday talking about this, the intersectionality. As a black woman, we catch hell in this country. And then when the black folks find out you're gay, you catch hell from them. It's like, well, damn, what? And so I think that it's good to have spaces and places where we can go for mental health purposes, where we can have support groups, where we can have resources. That's why I hit the ground so hard with what I do in my advocacy. That is why we had a free therapy. Truth be told, the free therapy for the gays. The other people just, kind of really get in it because some of the black gays be scared. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. But that was the purpose of me. Like, look, I need to make this available to the peeps. Y'all can't afford the very low prices we have. Damn it, it's free. What we gonna do next? So I think that is important, to take care of your mental health. I know that a lot of people, because folks that we trust shun us so much, it makes us not trust many people. And so we can withdraw, we can isolate, we can use substances, we can drink, we can do all kind of unhealthy things to try to cope, to try to numb out a lot of the pain that we endure. But people, I mean, it's a lot. I kind of, breezed through my coming out story, but it was hell. I wish I had somebody to say, "Oh yeah, we knew and it's good." Now later on, I had some cousins that, when they found out, because it's like it was a trickle down thing, and they were like, "I love you anyway," and I'm like, "I could have used you 20 years ago, baby." Okay, because if I would have had just that one family member, I think a lot of things would have been different in my journey. So mental health is very important, and their resources. They just took the emergency hotline away from the LGBT community. I'm
I was
like,
going to bring that up too.
all kinds of evil. You don't want now. First, y'all think we crazy, and then when we have resources to help us, y'all want to take that out too? Ah, bro, I'm done. But passing the mic.
Okay, Jackson, you want to pick it up, or
Yeah,
Tay, one I want? Okay, go ahead, Jackson.
yeah, it's very important. I mean, when it comes to
Can you do me
intersectional.
a favor, Jackson? Can you lean up a little bit so we
Oh,
can? Yeah,
okay, there you go.
there you go. Yeah.
When it comes to intersectional stress and double marginalization, disparities in access and representation, community rejection or isolation, all of these different issues that goes on in the LGBT community. That's why it's so important for the mental health. We get all this impact as a black man. Religion is like I was born like you, Linky Love, in a very heavy church related. Like my grandpa was a pastor, my grandma was a pastor, my mom, heavy into a church, and having to go through that, like the idea of going to hell as a way to scare you from being who you really are meant to be.
Yeah.
And that's why mental health is so important. And then you have also, like, with the black community, it's taboo. They feel like therapy is weakness. Like, you touch. That's how they call, old folks call when somebody's mentally part of the spectrum. Oh, they kind of touch,
Yeah.
and they kind of make fun of it in a sense. And so people don't go and they don't get the help that they need. And so that's why it's so important to have those resources available, because mental health is very, very important. I'm so happy that Biden, he kind of opened that door for a lot of, like, that's why we have so many psych MPs coming into place, because there's more money. Now we'll see what happens with who's in office now, if they're gonna, they've been making cuts all the way. So we don't know how that's going to go when it comes to the mental health resources, how far it's going to go, but it's really, really needed. Like, I'm happy to hear that you've been giving free services, Linky Love, as I approach my graduation, and I constantly think like how I'm going to be an asset, which I know what I want to do, but how I'm going to navigate, in my office or whatever. I've built something to help out the LGBT plus community. I'll tell my mom, I may not have, come on this earth to be a preacher, but I'm here to serve people and serve people that needs the help.
Amen.
I love it. I love it.
I like that. I like that.
Definitely.
Tay, you have anything?
Yes. I think mental health alone is kind of like put to the back burner for everyone. Not alone, just aside of being LGBT, but as Black people itself. But being in a real crisis area, even dealing with me working in the jails, and most of the people that we have in our county that are in lockup are Black. They battle with their sexuality, and like they don't know how to deal with it, and then they have no one to talk to. Even in our like local jails, they don't have nobody to talk to. They don't have a therapist there. They don't have no one to even confine in. So they either being targeted because people are assuming, and they have no one. So when we come in, we try our best to like tell them it's okay, but knowing that when they step outside of those doors, they're going to go back to being in the closet. They're not going to want to be open to the world. They're not going to want to communicate with it because they can't accept it. And not only them, they have no one there on their side to even help them with the acceptance that who they are is okay. Um, also with me dealing with the real crisis, like we also talk to the ones that are battling with not wanting to take meds because they feel like nothing's wrong. They don't want to accept, like, it's okay to take medications, okay, like what if you have high blood pressure or diabetes, you're not going to take nothing to help. And
Agreed.
they always say it's not the same thing, but to be honest, it is. Your health is your health, regardless of mental health, your physical. You gotta find a way to cope.
Exactly. Important words.
Man, that's tough. God, man, I'm listening to all three of y'all, and I love the three different saying the same thing, but in three different spaces, in three different avenues, and I can just imagine on a broader spectrum because it can only cover so much here on this platform. But that's for me personally, it's eye opening and it's bringing a level of awareness that I'll particularly be more sensitive to, especially in a church, being a pastor and stuff like that. Wow. So I appreciate y'all so much. TK, you
Yeah,
got anything?
that's wild. And I know this week I saw when Linky shared that about the 988 services was going to be removed. Um, and it's kind of in like one of them spaces of being an injured animal. It's like, there's a need, and the need is a high need. It's a high need for mental health, period. Which is why a lot of people do not get treated, because 9 out of 10 they can't afford it, or the services or aren't there in some aspect, or is the situation in we don't find none of us, and a lot of us don't want to go to us. And then you still got that taboo of we don't do mental health, we don't do therapy, we don't do counseling. You get over it. You be strong and pull yourself up from the bootstraps and figure it out. But you keep being strong and getting through it. And I think that's, as the numbers increase, I think that taboo is obviously not the truth, because the suicide numbers are constantly increasing.
That
Um,
part.
yeah, very much. The numbers are bananas. I saw some numbers the other day and I was like, damn, like that's all you could really say is damn, because that's one of the things. And it's so crazy how I met Linky. I found her on Facebook. And one of the things I always hype and I love about her is that she does do free services. She has people that are under her supervision that does free services too, because a lot of people really need that help. A lot of people really need that person to talk to. So her giving back in that way is like, I love to see it. So, we tell people, hey, you need a therapist. We got a house therapist on the podcast. Reach out to her. She'll be able to, to help you out, because the help is definitely needed. But the cut off services at those spaces when there's so much going on, um, the economy is crazy. Man, I saw some hamburger meat for $28 the other day, and I was standing there making life
Ooh, baby. You could have bought you a whole cow. Could have got you a little
baby,
calf. Cut them up. Okay. But you
baby.
know
I
what?
was looking
I
for.
really, when you have the crazy people running things, it's apparent. It shows, because I think a lot of that is projection. You don't want anybody to get any kind of help with anything. You want to cut off this, cut off that. These people are lunatics up there, and so it just shows. But I think overall, society and we as Black people, I think that we have gotten to a collective breaking point because of generational trauma, because of all of the stigma, because of the church that tells us, pray the mental health away, pray the gay away. And we
Yeah.
lost TK.
We'll be back.
And people are like, I can't do it, so I might as well get on out of here. And I think that what we see in society is people coming to that breaking point. There's a point where you will break when you have unresolved trauma. We have generational trauma. And then for those of us who are gay, we are queer, we're in this rainbow community. And so we're dealing with whatever generational trauma that was upon us already. We're dealing with whatever stuff happening in our households, whether it has anything to do with our identity or not, and then our identity. you know, I might have parents that are in a domestic violence situation, and I'm gay, and I got generational trauma. So I mean, with all of these things piggybacking on us, and I think when you see people acting out and doing all kinds of stuff and taking their lives, I think that we have come to a breaking point. And I think having those resources and services are very, very important.
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
Yes, Black families, they avoid discussion about sexuality and mental health. That's just the case.
Yeah.
I challenge my mom a lot, and but I'm happy that she accepts me. But a lot of families, a lot of guys and girls who families didn't accept them, like they just totally um, cut them off. My ex, oh my gosh, like when he came out to his mom, she said basically that if I knew you was gonna be gay, I would have aborted you and took your body and put it in the trash can and set it on fire.
Wow.
And with that being said, as a black man, right, he had to learn how to move past that. And then he's come from a Haitian family, so of course, like their whole family just shunned him, cut him off, right?
Yeah.
And so, fortunately, he found meth as a way to cope with that memory. And for years, he did that. And he was a total engineer. I mean, worked for the government. And you will have never guessed that he was dealing with that, and he was using drugs to deal with it. And he had, of course, when we was together, he wasn't doing it, but he had a relapse, and God just kind of just came into him and took him out of my life. That's why my mom was like, my mom was like, you dodged a bullet, because once and it's bad, and it's like, how do you help some? He's like, I did my part as far as, all the memories and stuff that he went through those years when he was, he's talked to his mom now after 7 years, not speaking to her because of that. And so his story is so many, like many other stories when you're dealing with that kind of trauma. Because how you learn to love is from your parents. And when
Yeah.
that is cut off, you're lost.
Yeah. That's tough. Tay, you got anything else you want to add before we move on? You should be good. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, wow. Okay. All right. TK.
So in any aspect, because I hear the church background part, and if you are black and you've been to church, we all know what we was taught and what we was told and what was pushed on us. Do any of y'all go to church now?
I
Oh,
found my way back to church. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you didn't talk, so I want you to talk, Tay.
I'm a talker. It just, I don't know. My
Hey,
opinion, sometimes I kind of put back because I
So
don't
I
like
was saying,
confrontation about it.
I
But
want
well, let me tell you like this, Tay,
all
real
of it.
quick,
Give me
Jackson.
all of it.
Um, anytime you are in my space, Tay, I can assure you it's a safe space. And if anybody has anything negative to say about your feelings, your opinions, then they will no longer be in the space that we're in. So I can assure you whatever you say, you're safe and you're good. I got you.
No,
okay,
that's
with
right, brother.
church, I do not attend church anymore. I'm not saying that I'm not spiritual. Like I still believe there's a God. I just with the family church, like me and my wife had tried different churches, and none of them felt like home. Besides one we did attempt to go to, but it just felt weird. It felt like how somebody like invites you in, but they want to basically showcase you, like show you around, like, oh, we got somebody here like her. We have someone. I don't
Yeah.
like that. And then with my family church, it's like she's gay.
Yeah.
Like it's just always that. And then the pastor one time he kind of stated, it's a sin in the middle of church. So therefore I don't, because I rather not be judged. And if I choose to be judged, I want to judge myself. I don't need nobody else, either showcasing me like I'm a school project or like just not inviting. So
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
Understood. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you very much. Does anybody else want to answer TK's question before I
Jackson.
address that?
I can't. It really saddens me. I was having a conversation about that today. I grew up in church. I got all of my advocacy and just outreach from church. I became a therapist through my work in church, me trying to help the kids stay out of trouble. And so for me, church mess. Y'all know church mess. Y'all know how church mess go.
Yeah.
And we left a couple churches because of church mess. Broke my heart when I left the church I was raised in. And then we, helped founded another church, and then there was another one. It was the last church where the homophobia showed up, like for real. The one was old school. He ain't really talk about that because whatever was happening politically, whatever was going on in the news, tend to hit the pulpit on Sunday. So marriage equality, we ain't marrying no gays here. And that was kind of, the gist of it at that one church. And this last one, they was talking about the trans people all wrong, talking about intersex people all wrong. I'm like, what in the hell? Why y'all talking? Okay, for one, that just irritated me. And so I'm sad to say I do not. I tried to find some churches like you said, Tay. I went to one church that I thought was affirming, and they was trying to convert me. I said, no, no, thank you. And so I in the Houston area, I've found some, but it's just not where my heart is, And so I do listen to the word online. As a church in Philadelphia I really like. It's not an affirming church, but the pastor is like tolerant. I don't know. He ain't saying the gays going to hell, so I can get with his message, because I have found that I have anxiety when I go to church. Like if I have to go to my mom's church, oh shit, is they gonna say something today? Or dealing with my mama. You gonna dress like a boy when you come? Guess what? I ain't coming. That kind of thing. So I kind of wish I had a space where I could worship it in my true authenticity, and it be what I'm accustomed to. Cause I was raised Baptist. It don't have to necessarily be Baptist, but I know folks have some different stuff going on that's just not comfortable for me. But I do not. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I used to sing in the choir, so some days I'll throw them hymns on, baby. I'll be having church in here for myself, okay? But otherwise, I'll give my tithes and offerings to people. I will give donations to folks who raising money for this, so the children need whatever they need. Or, I do a Thanksgiving thing. I was doing a scholarship child, but the money been funny and the change has been strange. So, but, like my great-grandmother used to always say, church is in your heart. So church is in my heart, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay, I love it. Jackson?
The church was the first place that you were taught how to hate yourself.
Okay. Okay, and it was going to hell.
I'm sorry to say, church is the first place you hate yourself. Honestly, because when you go to church, gay's abomination. People tell you to pray the gay away fast, or you're gonna burn. Your eyes gonna burn. Your everything gonna burn. Sermons wasn't about love; they were about warning the congregation about people like them, like gay. And so, for me, I had a moment in my life. I come from Kojic, Church of God in Christ, Found to the Love. Well, that's where I was raised in, and Found to the Love, right? And I found me kind of stirred away from churches a little bit, only because of those type of stuff. Like I'm come from very prayerful family, so I really embrace my spirituality. I'm very prayerful. Like anywhere I go, if I see somebody not doing good, or if there's something that I can't control, then I always, I call on Jesus. Hey, do something. Like I'm praying for this person, to do better. So that's why I practice. However, I have recently went to church. My mom came to visit with me, and my bestie, she invited me, to come out to her friend's church. So we went there. It was really good. It was very spiritual. Nothing was said that triggered me. But yeah, I do agree. Like some churches, and I know, they always say, "Oh, it's the word. It's in the Bible." But then it's like, yeah, God loves everybody, and sometimes love is not, use scare tactics, as a way, to make people feel.
I agree.
And yeah, so that's where I stand at. So I think I'm at a point where I am kind of seeking, a family of people who are in the same spiritual journey as me, whether or not there'll be a church or that's somebody's house or just a hotel, just to come together to know that there is something beyond us that's out there that is helping us get past all the different hurdles we have in life. That kind of congregation, a congregation of love, praying for each other and building each other up. That's what I want. And Like I said, whether that's not in church or it could be somewhere else, that's what I yearn for.
Well, let me
I
just say
agree.
this real quick. And I am really appreciative of y'all's stories, right? And I guess for me, I'm just different because I don't feel like it's my position to change anyone in the church, outside of the church. Like I see people, I genuinely love people, period, right? If God shifts something in you, then so be it. But I don't see it no different than embracing a crackhead that comes in the church or any other thing that God has to deal with you about. That's between you and God. If that space is cultivated, right? Because from my understanding, I know that the word of God says God is spirit, right? And those that worship must worship in spirit and truth, right? It don't say you have to worship in your sexuality and your flesh and whatever it is that you may be dealing with. It says spirit, right?
Right.
And that's the only thing I'm concerned with. Period.
Mhm.
If you bring something to me that you need to talk about, we'll talk about it. If not, then it's not my business. That's between you and God.
Right.
So that's all I want to say.
If preachers would have that kind of mindset, then but a lot of them don't have that mindset. You have so
Yeah.
much other sins.
Right, right.
Oh my
That's what I'm
God,
saying.
yes.
Like it's so
Right.
many.
You name it is in there. But we
Right,
want to just
exactly.
focus on a certain group of people, and say we are sin. I don't feel that I'm sin. I feel that I'm made how I was supposed to be. You know, now I ain't trying to have that battle about
Right,
what is and what is not,
right.
but I can say just in my own revelations, look, in each generation of time, I'm certain had its influences and influencers and people who were political and wanted certain things to be a certain way. In this present time, our history is being erased. And so
Yeah,
the generations to come, if it continues as this, the generations to come will not know anything about Harriet Tubman, will not know anything about what the man, the baseball player, will not know anything about these
Jackie
black
Robinson. Jackie
Jackie
Robinson.
Robinson. Thank you. They won't know anything about anybody who served in the military, the first black whoever, right? And so it just makes me wonder, if you're erasing that, what else has been erased before? You brow beating. I ain't had a drink yet. You're brow beating the LGBT community so bad. You want to erase the trans people so much. Why? What is it about us that we just really don't know, that y'all are continuing to try to erase us and to demonize us and villainize us, and you even put it in the Bible to beat us up? What is it about us? And as black people as well, what is it about the black people? I'm not a hotep. I don't even know what that means. And no offense to the people who are. But somebody earlier today told me, you sound like that. I'm like, I don't know what that is, girl. I'm just trying to, rationalize some stuff for me. Why would you beat up a group of people for what? What is it that we don't know about us that y'all know and y'all want to keep us from knowing? And so you make people feel bad about themselves. You oppress people. You want to erase people.
Half the
How
time,
do
people
you?
be trying to oppress others, be going through the same issues, but they use that as a cover up. It happens all the time. All throughout high school, I remember guys who would make fun of gays, and they end up, at least a good 80% of them are gay themselves as an adult.
Okay.
The same ones making fun, hating, doing stuff like that, and it's like, wow, this world is so mentally messed up.
Their part, and just even for that person, and people will project because somebody had to
Yeah.
say it was bad, and so they're going to project. But
Right.
I'm going deeper into, why was that even initially considered bad? Why are we even considered bad? Is in the Bible. Okay, how did they get there? That's where I'm going. How did they get there? The way that, like I'm saying, the way people erasing and changing stuff now. If
Right.
our dear president wrote the Bible, you would swear that he died on the cross. They probably gonna put that in there next, and then
Man.
generations to come will believe. Oh, I'm going. Yeah,
Yeah.
generations to come, if they keep this trajectory, will believe that. And so my question is, back when, who the people that King James them wrote that book?
Mhm.
What did the book say before that? That's where I'm going. Y'all, Throw y'all rocks at me and send me to hell if y'all want to, but that's where I'm at.
I can agree with you, but in the same light, it's like man wrote that book. Like they people will say, okay, somebody gave him the words and all that. I don't believe that. I feel like the mind is meant to be manipulated for a reason, and everybody has a reason to manipulate somebody else's mind. The same way black people was oppressed. We don't know why, but we was oppressed for something. I feel like a man wrote that book, and we don't know if that's actually what God wanted. So like I said again, I do believe there is a higher God. I believe there is God, but I don't think those were his words. I just feel like somebody wanted to control something and control the way everyone had a mindset, and it's being controlled.
Storytelling is such a powerful word, and the reason why I say it, I remember I was in Dublin, Ireland, and I went to a cafe. It was a folklore tale, I guess, and the guy who was telling the story about the fairies, the leprechauns, and all these people, he said they did that was to control crime. So they fed them the story. So if you did good, the, the fairies would bless you. If you did bad, the leprechauns would get you. And so with these stories, they was able to control community. And like I said, as a man, writing this Bible, it could have came from the same source. Like, I need to control this population. What's the best way? Let me get the best story.
Well, that's exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off into it too deep, but I mean, I can give you timelines and dates. Like TK will tell you, man, I have books galore. I've done the research, and y'all are absolutely right without going too far left. I'm with y'all. Y'all are absolutely right. Control tactics. And I can tell you where the control tactics began and why this particular community needed to be controlled. Not saying it's right, but y'all are absolutely right as far as the changing of the words, the additions and the subtractings to manipulate a specific group to conform to their mindset to do what they want them to do. But yeah, it's factual. It's
And
facts.
I think that is the piece right there. I think that we as a people, we as black people, we as queer people, I think that as long as that ideology plays out, then you're going to continue to have oppression.
Yeah.
And I think that yes, we celebrate pride because we need something to hold on to. We need to be able to feel good about ourselves. If we some people only come out once a year. I don't know, and that's no shade.
Right.
That's a person's story. Sometimes it might be a struggle for them to live out loud because of wherever they are, their environment, their jobs. As an educator, I couldn't come out a few years back. They just swear I was doing something to the kids. And so Obama, thank you, was able to put that into place. They might take it tomorrow, girl, so y'all delete this when y'all finish. But he was able to put something in place that basically say you can't fire people for being gay. Because a lot of people, I got my twin niece and nephews on my wall, but I didn't put family members in my office. Some people had their kids, grandkids, their husband, wife, whatever. But if you have husband and husband, wife and wife, they can have a problem with that and get you fired.
Mm.
Now the Catholic schools, the private schools just did that. One lady was at a drag show and took pictures and they put out. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. That woman wasn't even gay. She was at the drag show. I mean, come on. So it's a lot of just craziness out here. It is. And they say it's us. Well, it ain't us. It's the people reacting us. We just chilling. We doing us.
True.
We living. If you weren't worried about who was in my bedroom, y'all be all right.
Hey, hey Jackson, I saw your post the other day too. You was talking about exactly what she said, man. And I laughed and I actually shared it with some people because I thought it was one of the most profound posts, period. And you know which one I'm talking about, right?
The one I did for Juneteenth.
I can't hear you.
The one I did for Juneteenth.
No, 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 no. This was earlier, I think last week when we talked about um judging people based on their preference.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I hate when people do that.
Yeah.
It's like you can't judge a book by its cover, but people they constantly sit in their own the foul ways they think of stuff, and they try to make sense of it in in the most ugliest way. And it's like, people, we are a product of how we are raised, right? By parents. Sometimes it just mentally comes out like in a very judgment. So you know where this person's coming from. It's like,
Yeah.
you know. But I have grace for myself and I have grace for others. And I pray every time when somebody comes that's sideways, I'm gonna have grace for this person because this person apparently don't know what they're doing. They're trying to hurt somebody. So
Yeah.
that's what I do.
I love it. I love it. Tay, do you have grace for people?
You can tell him what you really want to say when we log out, when we end the show, because I know you want to. Believe me, you know you got some words. So I have one last question before we close out. And y'all pretty much have already started talking about it. So have any of y'all ever lost a job because of your preference?
No.
No.
I have that because I haven't always been out professionally. The last district that I was at, my friends knew, but I wasn't, I guess I was living a double life, if you will. I tried to straddle the fence in my appearance, and I would have to hear all the homophobic shit from coworkers talking about those coworkers who were actually out. But we knew who we were. We knew who each other. We knew the gay folks on the job. We knew that. But I wasn't open about who I am. And so with this particular job I have in this district, I've been welcomed. I've been welcomed. I can, do me. I'm still not overtly when it comes to the kids. I don't share too much, because I don't want to deal with their parents. And you're trying to convert my kids. No, nobody doing that, but I have not because I wasn't always open and out. Now, like I said, this district is cool. I'm the boss at my job. So, yeah. That part.
Gotcha.
Tay, you wanna chime in? Have you ever had any issues or
I
have you
never
not
had.
applied for a job or anything like
I
that?
never got fired from a job, but I've had like several issues with. Okay, so before I was a case manager, I used to work at a hospital at the psychiatric unit as a activity director. So I never had a problem with the job itself, but it was some patients that sometimes would either clench onto me too much because they knew I was, and it just didn't sit right. And there was some that were make outbursts and try to be aggressive and say like, "Oh, keep that gay bitch away from me." All type of stuff. It's but I also had to remember that I'm at work. They are in a psychiatric unit for a reason. I can't hold it against them.
Yeah.
But other than things like that, I never from a job. No. Now, have people had their opinions? Yeah, but you can't fire me if I'm doing my job and I'm minding mine.
Okay.
I never wore my sexuality on my sleeve. So most times people don't even think that I'm gay, especially at work, because I'm very systematic and by the book. Unless like I have a few people that I'm open to, and that they'll get the vibrant jumping Jackson. Other than that, you'll get the hey, my name is Jackson, I'm your nurse. Anything, and just kind of like keep it that kind of. So most people don't really know. But no, I've never been fired because I was gay. And hence, I do live in San Francisco, and so I think that right there says it for you.
Okay, all right, cool.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead and do our outros for the night, so we could go ahead and end the show because I know Jackson got some partying to do, and sound like Linky
Turn up.
Friday,
I'm going to bed, girl. Ain't nobody going out. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, right.
She's going to bed while her love letters, honey.
Yeah. With a bottle next to her. Yeah.
So, well, let's go ahead and start with you, Jackson. Anything that you want to say as far as your outro, any encouragement, just whatever's on your heart. Also, what you got going on, if you want people to find you, where can they find you and such.
Okay. Well, I'm on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Jumpin' Jackson, Instagram, TikTok. Look me up. I teach classes. I am willing to even travel. So if you can get a group of people, I'll bring the boots and we can jump. Do this whole jumping session. I'm international.
In real life.
Yes, you are.
But I want to leave this. if you can't love yourself, how in the heck you gonna love everybody else? And
Amen.
I hold that to value so much. It's like practice on loving yourself so you can love everybody else even better. So take 2 or 3 things and work on something different every day and just continue to build and grow and love. That's what I ended with.
Okay. Okay. Tay, what you got for us?
Oh, me. You always do
Yes.
that.
You.
The only thing I gotta say is really be yourself. Like, be true to yourself. The only thing I got going on so far is school and traveling and
You
work.
can take me with you too on one of them trips, man.
I already told you we should do a trip. I've been
I'm
waiting on
good.
you. It ain't me.
Ooh.
You gonna keep waiting. He's been coming down here for
Ready.
about 4 months now, and I ain't seen him yet. So believe
Exactly.
me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, Tay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Outro.
But really, just be true to yourself. Like, get to know yourself. Because sometimes you have to reset. Some
Mm,
people don't know who they are, and they have to really get to learn themselves. And you could be
yeah.
40 still learning yourself. There's no
True.
timeline on learning you. But love yourself. Be true to yourself. And you can find me on TikTok. Your favorite. Tay.
No, Tay
Your
Tay.
favorite one, Tay? Is that a one?
Yes, it's your underscore favorite one underscore Tay.
Okay.
To
Okay.
be exact.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Linky.
Well, I will say, for pride, be who you are. Okay, show your pride.
Happy Pride.
This month is important, but the rest of your lives are important as well. This is one moment in time that we can celebrate who we are. For those who consider themselves allies, we appreciate y'all partying with us and all that great stuff. But we really, really need you to stump with us. We need you to advocate with us and for us. For those of you who have your power and your privilege, we need you. These are some very hard times right now. It's a mess. It's a mess. And so instead of dividing, us, well, we black and y'all gay and y'all over here, we all need to come together because there's power in unity. There's a fight that needs to be fought, and everybody needs to come together for that. And so, to my queer community, be who you are. Show your pride. Do what's best for you. If you are not in a safe situation, don't let nobody make you feel bad because you can't come out. Don't let nobody make you feel bad because you may be in the closet. Coming out is a choice. Don't be trying to out people and telling their business about, oh, y'all know that one gay, or them folk putting them DL list on the TikTok.
Ooh.
Hey, that's some people business. Y'all just need to do what y'all need to do to protect yourselves and all that other stuff. Let them people figure that part out. People getting unalived and everything because of outing people. Don't get caught up in that mess. Don't get caught up in that mess. But nevertheless, if anybody is in need of any services, we do have support groups available that are for free. Although I am licensed in Texas as a licensed professional counselor, all of my support groups are free and they go across state line because it's not therapy, it's support. I have my trauma and grief support group. We are on a hiatus right now. We're having a little summer vacay. We'll be back maybe in August, August-ish, September-ish. I'm going to do a pop-up, actually. Sharonda Barksdale, my shadow work coach, and I, next Thursday on the 26th, Heartbreak Hotel. This is a support group for mass presenting lesbians, but everybody else said they wanted to come too. So if y'all catch the live on Facebook, come on and join us. We're going to be talking some good stuff on there. If you are a resident of Texas and you need some mental health therapy, go to www.laveleslpc.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find the professional part of me on Facebook. It's Larnika Laveless LPC PLLC. If y'all want to cut up, y'all can go find Linky Love. She gonna cut up. I'm cutting up today with all these misspelled words. I'm like, oh, that's not how
Yeah.
you spell choked. Y'all didn't tell me. Sometimes I don't have my glasses on. I'm getting out the shower just typing up some stuff.
I was too
Y'all
busy
just
laughing.
laughing with me, and you should have said, sis, check your spelling. Because I'm like, oh, shit, I spelled that wrong. Anyway, Instagram, Larnika Laveless LPC PLLC. TikTok, Linky Love 95. That's all I got.
Okay, I got you. I don't think I want to say. I was talking to my therapist the other day, and she said something that resonated with me in a total different aspect. But what she told me, and I'm going to share with you all, is to honor where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, honor where I am. I looked at her sideways, and she leaned up, and she said it again. Honor where you are. She said because when you honor where you are it allows you to process it. It allows you to work through it. It allows you to see yourself as you are. In other words, be true to yourself. Honor where you are. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to hide. You don't have to make excuses for people. Whatever it is that you've dealt with, whatever cards, whatever it is that you're dealing with, honor it. Feel it. Process it. That way you won't get stuck. And when she said that, I started crying. Tell you, I'm a crybaby.
Yeah, I know you
We all
sensitive.
know you a crybaby.
And,
Aw.
and whatever, like, whatever it is that you're dealing with, honor it. Don't be embarrassed. Honor it. Feel it, process it, and I'll end with that.
Yeah, I got that same message from her this week too. Definitely, and
Yes.
to feel the feels, whatever you feeling, feel the feels and figure out where that feeling is coming from, and journal about it. And I'm bad at journaling about it. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I be feeling
And
the
I'll be
feels.
writing
So
every day.
yeah, well, I need a whole new journal, but definitely that, like, definitely be yourself. And one of the things I like that Tay said that even in your 40s you could be trying to figure out who the hell you are. And I think a lot of us that are look, there go the third one. Third Mohican. Yes, my therapist told me the same thing today. Happy Pride, y'all. That's my baby. So
Oh yeah.
we all have the same therapist, so she be on us.
Nice.
But she's one of those two that even in your 40s, you could still be trying to figure out who the hell you are, because your environment, you pick up all these different traits and characteristics from everybody else, and you're molded a lot of times into those people as you grow and as you start to really figure out and start healing. And you like, this ain't me. Let me take this shit out. I got this from her. That ain't me. I'm not this person. I'm not that person. And when you really start to heal and become yourself, you start to figure out who the hell you really are. So you can still be trying to do this until your 40s, 50s, whatever. It's when you get to that realization that you're tired of whatever you've been sitting in or being in or whoever you thought you were and really were not keeping up having that mask. When you take that mask off, you will figure
Okay.
out who the hell that you really are and what those great qualities and gifts and things that you were blessed with, and be able to go from there. So definitely feel them feels, sit in that shit. Don't sit in it too long until the point you start smelling. But sometimes you got to sit and marinate a little bit to figure out what is what and where this came from and where you need to go from there. So I definitely agree. It is definitely a process. So I want to thank all my guests coming on tonight, man. This has been a great episode. I've definitely enjoyed y'all 110%. I think y'all, just from meeting y'all, besides that one over there, because I've been dealing with her for about 2 years now. I love everything that y'all do, everything that y'all got going on. Like, y'all are a great representation of living life and doing you and not letting nobody hold y'all back. And that's very important, and it's very, very important for people to see and know. So I love it. I do. I really, really love it. I'm gonna have to go and give me some of them shoes though, so I can go and get my jump on though.
Oh, child, I'm gonna be jumping.
I ain't gonna
Girl.
say I'm getting no boots, but if y'all ever need me for anything, just reach out to me. Y'all all got my information. No matter what it is, holler at me. I rocks with y'all. Y'all my people. I love y'all, and you know, that's it. I ain't gonna say I'm
Okay.
getting no
And we
boots.
got
So I don't know.
Come on,
You know
D.
my
yeah.
birthday coming up in 10 more days.
You can take that cane. You can jump
I
up and
get the
take
boots.
that
They get the boots. Hey, we get boots. Hey,
actually, you can take that cane and
I'm
jump
scared.
with the cane, making sure you stay on balance.
see there it is.
I gotta watch first. I gotta watch first. Mm-mm.
I'll send you some videos. I'll send you some of his
Yes, you
videos.
got
You
to
can see
check
what
it
it
out.
is. Nah, I don't know because that might
Yeah, you
intimidate.
got to check it out. Oh Lord, here he go.
Nah, because he be doing tricks with the
But
jump
on
rope.
that note,
I won't do any tricks.
Now,
I
wanna
know
see-
he said he jumped open them things and everything. I was like, oh, okay.
I want to see the rope, the jumping.
I got you.
Me too.
I got
When I teach classes, I do teach regular classes without the rope because just to be able to jump without.
Hopefully.
No, I will. It's gonna be fun because you're gonna be too busy trying to keep your balance and then be laughing because when you jump, everything goes up and down. So.
What?
Jesus, I have to put on 2 sports bras.
You ain't lying.
Have mercy. Have mercy, Jesus. I'm gonna have to jump like this.
I know, right?
Duct tape.
I'll be like, for my
Yeah.
women, we use the rest before we start the jump class because if you got full bladder, honey, you jumping.
That part too.
Keep you
That's the
regular.
other part.
That's the weak bladder.
That's the other.
Keep you
Yeah,
regular.
that's the other. Yeah.
But I really do appreciate you all so much. More than y'all know. And this probably won't be the last time y'all will be on. Y'all already know I love my people and I love y'all and I rock with y'all. So be on the lookout for the next episode. I'll let y'all know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
TK,
Thanks
it's
for
on
having
you.
me.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Very welcome. All right. So on that note, we are out. We thank y'all for watching. If you have not, please like, share, as well as subscribe. If you caught us on the end part, go back and rewatch it because guaranteed to get something out of this episode. So on that note, we are out and be blessed.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move.